Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Kind of go over today some closing and cool downs. Had some agents visit with me last week. One in from out of town said he's having some issues on a proper close and give some chargebacks. So we kind of wanted to know some ideas to help him out. So went over some stuff with him, and then I felt, let me just share it with everybody. To me, when it comes to a cool down, it's got a lot to do with everything before that. And to me, I've written down 10 steps. There may be more, there may be less, depending on how you want to break them down into the start to the finish to get to the cool down. And to me, everything has its important place. For example, they say it's got to be done 100% correct from the start to the finish. Well, to me, each one of these categories that I'm going to discuss with you today equals 100%. So if you go 100% times 10, it's 1,000% that you need to be dead on to where you have the best opportunity for a person to want to buy something from you and then for them to want to keep it. We've talked about this before. People buy based on feelings. They based on how they feel in their stomach, your presentation, how you bring out the need. Then when you're gone and they have the policy and they either have a payment coming out or a payment has come out, they keep it based on logic on how you explained everything to them and had them listen to you. So I'm just going to go through the 10 steps that I go through, and then from there I'm going to get to the close and get to how I recommend everybody do a proper cool down to hopefully solidify a sale. Number one, you've got when you go to the door. To me, going to the door, where to stand, how to say certain things, how to say the things to get in, how to show the lead is very important in step one. Number two is getting into the door. Just because you've got a lead and just because you have all the best programs out there does not mean that person's going to have you pass that 4-inch threshold. You've got a one chance to make a first impression with people you're dealing with. Either on a cold call, you're just out door knocking, or an actual set appointment, you've got one chance to make a first impression. Number three, when you get in the house, the warm-up. What do you speak about? How do you speak? Do you try to interact with a conversation with them, or you want to be in charge of it to where you're just talking? Number four, the transition into the presentation. So you've got to know how to make a transition to go from the warm-up, the questions you've asked, the things you discuss, into the transition to where it's smooth, to where they don't feel they're being jerked from the left to the right to listen to what you have to say on why they sent the card in. You got to be smooth on that. Now you've got your presentation. Your presentation has a lot of different parts within it. Can't go over all that today. But in your presentation, you need to make sure that you tap on the hot spots, the emotional spots for them by mentioning their beneficiary. Once you find who their beneficiary is, now changes to either their spouse or their children, Anthony and Marie, or their daughter or their mother, or their wife, Joanne. So it all depends on who will be the beneficiary is how you're going to hit the hot spot in the presentation to share with them the values on why you're there, how it works. Number six is the concerns they have. They're going to want to discuss what you've said. They're going to have questions. They're going to have rebuttals. And most importantly is you've got to be able to adapt to the way they speak and the way they think by slowing your presentation down and just taking your time, knowing that sometimes you may have caught them off guard when you came to the door. You may not ask the proper questions to where they want to open up to you. These are things that takes practice going over and over again. Number seven is when you've gone over all of these ideas here and you've told them what's going to happen, sharing the different programs. Everybody's got different ways of sharing programs. I was taught to go a high, medium, and a low. I've had people tell me, Joe, a funeral costs 10. I show them just a 10. Joe, I just show 2. I'm different. I want to show them 5 different programs. Programs are the 5,000, the 10, the 15, the 20, And then from there, I want to show them the different ideas, which is the monthly amount they're going to pay. When I show them the different programs that are available, I like to keep them within $2,000 or $3,000 of each other. So when they're going from a 10 to a 12 to a 15 to a 17 to a 20, the actual prices are somewhat closer together. So if they say they want to spend $60 is what they have in their mind that they are willing to spend, and yours goes from 50 to 75 to 100, you got that gap in the middle that you don't know that they want to spend. So what ends up happening, they may buy the one for 50, or they may not buy one at all. For the mere fact is you did not give them enough choices. I like giving choices. Jill, they like one agent was, Jill, why do you want to give 5 choices? Just give them 3. That should be enough. Give them a 5, a 10, and a 15. My philosophy is I want to keep the lowest one at $50 to $60, the lowest one depending on their age. From there, I've got no problem shell shocking them at $150 or $200 premium. But I want to keep them close together to where they're not jumping from a 50 to a 75 to a 100, etc. Keep them close and tight. When you're through sharing the different programs with them, now you've got to go to the which one is best for you. Have I answered all your questions? Which program do you feel fits best with you? Which one do you want to start today? So you need to go into another transition within the actual sharing of the programs on how you're going to get them to go from the thought process to showing it to have them circle it and sign it. Some people saying it by having them have a pen there and have them signing it is a little bit too abrupt. Some people sit and say which one you want to start today may be somewhat abrupt. Some agents say, is this something you want to start today? It's good, it's not good. You're giving them an opportunity to say no. I kind of want to sit and tell them, based on all the information I've given you today, you have no type of coverage. You say you don't want to leave your son Anthony and your daughter Marie in a situation to where they can't afford to pay for it. We need to figure out one today that is going to fit best with you. And the beauty about doing business with me is that you're going to be able to come back and we're going to be able to add to something later. And the reason I say that, certain people want 15, 20, 25,000 worth of coverage because that's what they feel they want and need, yet they just can't afford it. So what my job is to do is to help you pick out one that is comfortable for you, and then from there, knowing I can always come back to always add to what you have. But most importantly is to start something today to where you have something in place. I don't have a crystal ball. I've got no idea when this day is going to come. So which one do you feel comfortable starting today? Take a step back, lean back in your chair instead of being forward, being aggressive. Once you've done that, now you have the actual application process. What are you going to do on the application? Are you going to do a point of sale? Are you going to do an actual paper app? Are you going to do a term? Are you going to do a whole life? That's your choice. Now, application is finished. Everything is done. You've answered all your questions. Everything is fine. You're hunky-dory. You made a sale. Now you want to sit and go because you got to go to another appointment. Stop. Stop. You cannot worry about the other appointment yet because the other appointment may not be there. They may change their mind. They may not answer their door. They may come up with 47 different reasons not to let you in the house. The client that you're with now, you have to do a cool down with them to where they feel they've made a good decision. And you've got to help reinforce them with the decision they made was based on a decision that they made. Because what happens is that when you try to corner them into buying something from you, and you kind of use the hammer and the fist to make them sign something, they're probably going to sign something, and shortly thereafter, they're probably going to cancel on you. So you need to take some steps back, find out that if you win it through it in a smooth way, when the deal is done, you've got to congratulate them, tell them that they got approved for immediate benefits, tell them you don't need any money today. We're going to start this next month as you decide on the 3rd or the 2nd, 3rd, 4th Wednesday. I think this kind of puts your mind at ease what you've done, and hopefully they're going to say, yes, it has. So what I like to do is to make them feel that the decision they made was their decision with my guidance. I want them to feel that the decision they made is a smart one, that is something that's going to relieve the burden from their children, their spouse, or whoever they put as their beneficiary. Because what ends up happening is that if you just seal the deal and you leave, their mind may still be a little wishy-washy. Did I make the right decision? Was he in and out? Did he push the sale on me? So you have to kind of take a step back, and you've got to just relax. You've got to continue to speak with them, because people know when they feel they've been taken advantage of. And if you just go in, make the sale, and leave, nothing may ever happen. But yet, to me, I like to play the odds to say, if I stay an extra 5 minutes, what is that going to kill me in the realm of the whole day? You sit and figure, if you make 3 or 4 sales in one day, and you stay 5 minutes more, let's say you stay 10 minutes more, you're looking at maybe 30 minutes more throughout your entire day, and hopefully that 30 minutes solidifies the commission you're going to make. I feel that when somebody buys from you, you owe them the courtesy and the respect to let them know what they did was smart, to educate them a little bit more on why they did it, and go over with them the carrier that they bought from again. I like to leave a client with a red folder. To me, that's called the important folder. I tell them, I want you to put your policy in this folder when it comes in. When the policy comes in, I want you to call me if you have any questions. If it is a large policy, I believe in delivering policies anything over $55 or $60. I want to deliver it. If you're brand new, I deliver a policy if it's for 25 cents. For the mere fact is that you're going to get into the routine of delivering, reinforcing, going over with them what a great decision they made, and hopefully prevent a chargeback, especially when you're first starting out, because chargebacks are the killer in our business. Now, what I like to leave with a client is something I've seen for a long time. It's called I Am Your Policy. It's a little small piece of paper that we have on the back office that you can get and print out. I also like to leave. Matter of fact, Rural Neighbors has a little planning guide. America's got a planning guide, and Mutual of Omaha has a planning guide. These are just 3 of them that I actually pulled out of my desk that you can leave with people. And the nice part about it is that when you leave it with the people, you can tell them when the policy comes in, if you had a hard time filling out the forms on the inside, which are very simple, I'll be happy to help you fill it out. Does everybody have you fill it out with them? Do people fill it out? It just depends. But yet, it's the kind gesture that you're doing that's letting them know you're going the extra mile where the other agent did not do that there. Now, when I leave, I want them to feel that they've actually bought something from me. We've talked about this before. An actual life insurance sale, final expense sale, mortgage protection sale, anything having to do with insurance is basically what we call as an intangible. They're paying for it for somebody else. They're doing this for their peace of mind that when something happens to them in the unforeseen future, their loved one is taken care of. So in other words, when you leave, it's not like sitting on a couch or watching your TV, watching the Super Bowl or something. It's a piece of paper that they're going to get stating they have a policy. From there, they're going to make a payment on it. So what I like to do is change that to a tangible purchase by giving them something to hold on to. The red folder, I Am Your Policy, one of these memorial guidebooks. Any type of literature you have from the carrier will be very smart to give on the company, how long they've been in business for, their AM Best rating, some type of literature regarding the carrier that you put the client with to let them hold something so when you leave, they're going to look through that there and they're going to see all these different things that you left them with. It wasn't as if you left them with nothing, okay? I like to leave them the I Am Your Policy, carrier pamphlets, as I said. A conditional receipt, I think, is so important. Every application has one, okay? With the conditional receipt, you put their name on top, the amount of money they spent, their face amount, your signature, and I also like to put down their first draft date. First draft date, that's that the premium's coming out. And I also like to put down their voided check number that they gave me if I had to take a wet check from them or a voided check from them to submit to the carrier. It just makes it look like it's more official. You let them know exactly what you're doing, and you've got it all down black and white in front of them. Company cards. I like company cards to be given out. Okay. When I go in a house, I like to give a card. I like to leave extra cards, one for you to share, for referrals, which referrals will be something we'll talk about another time. The nicer you are to people, the more polite you are to them, the more respect you show to them. Calm your jets down, speak slower, listen to what they're saying. All of these fall into the first 10 steps of what transition, the presentation, the discussion, the concerns that they had. Did you answer the questions correctly, or did you beat around the bush? If you didn't know an answer, did you make up an answer, or did you call somebody up to find out what the answer is? Because what's most important is when you go through all of these 10 steps as we discuss, the cool down will be much easier for the client because they feel comfortable with you. You have built your trust meter higher and higher and higher, and the higher your trust meter is with a client, you have a higher probability they're not going to have what we call as buyer's remorse. I don't want it, he didn't answer my questions. So at the end, it's so important when you're doing your cool down and you're going over everything with them, is to ask them, is there anything that I may have missed? Do you have any questions? Did I explain everything to where it's truly understandable? Because a lot of times we all say, and you really don't understand what the person is saying, yet you don't want to look like a fool and say, well, I got a question. So you sometimes need to tell people, listen, if you got a questions, let me know. I know this like the back of my hand, and when I leave here today, I want to feel 100% sure and safe that when I leave, that I did a proper job for you, that I answered all your questions. If you have any questions, please ask me, because to me, any question to me is an important question. When you leave a client with a warm, fuzzy feeling that you're different than anybody else there, you took your time with them, you went over everything with them, you left them a card, a conditional receipt, you left them some pamphlets about the company, you left them the I Am Your Policy, which is something they will read, and let them know that you're only a phone call away, the cool down will go a whole lot easier. When you leave a house and everything is done, I like sending out thank you cards. Okay? We've got send out cards on the website that you can go and sign up for, set them up. You can send a card out right then and there. You can put a profile in with them, their birthday, and set up in advance when you want cards to go out. Some agents do it the day that they get home, the next morning send out a card. They'll do one 2 months later, which gives the policy time there, time for them to think about it. They'll do one maybe a month and a half, 2 months before their birthday so they can go for a review. They'll do a 6-month, 9-month, 12-month policy review, whatever you think about. If their birthday's coming up for a Medicare Advantage situation, a card to go out about Medicare Advantage or a Medicare supplement. We spoke about something. Just want to give you a little reminder. I'll be giving you a card. So make sure that when you do Medicare Advantage and Medicare supplements with the client, you get the little form they got to fill out that gives you permission to call them back. What you're doing is you're planting a seed for down the road. Now, I said earlier about delivering your policies. The entire presentation process, going over everything, the rebuttals, squashing everything, presenting a sale, making a sale, the cool down, you leave, the thank you card. When do you deliver a policy? Joe, I don't have time. I'm working this side of town, that side of town. I don't know everybody's schedule, so I can't sit and say, well, you should, you have to. In the beginning, I'm going to recommend you to deliver every single policy, at least for the first 3 or 4 months, for the mere fact is you're going to get acclimated with delivering a policy. You're going to learn things. You're going to see what the policies actually look like. You can maybe make a copy of the policy, blot out the person's name on it, to where you can show another client what a policy looks like, okay? And it's also a very great time for you to get a referral from that client based on the information that you're going over with them. When people feel that you go the extra mile, when people can see that you've got concern about them, they get a warm, fuzzy feeling in their stomach, and they want to share you with their friends. When they want to share you with their friends, it's called a free lead. It's a free opportunity to make money. So think about the time you're taking is not all about trying to make a sale. It's trying to build a relationship and a bond and a trust. So if and when you make the sale, that's going to enable you to get a referral and hopefully make some additional sales. So with that said, guys, what I'm going to do is Monday call. I rarely ever open these up here. Does anybody have any questions on a cool down or any of the things that I spoke about? I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. If you do, do me a *2. Jay will open you up, and we can chit-chat. Okay. Who is it, Jay? Who is it? Yes, Galen, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I have a really question. I tuned in just about 3 minutes late, so I didn't get all of those 10 presentations. I was wondering, do you have that on the back office or in the email?
What I will do, I will have either Jay or Heather type it up for you and send it to you.
Okay, sounds good. You did a good job. I appreciate everything.
Okay, brother. Thanks a lot. Make it a great day. Okay. Who else, Jay? What's last four numbers? 8748. You're on the air. Who is it? Gabe, is this you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's me, Joe.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Great day to be alive. Hey, Joe, I was going to ask the same thing that gentleman asked just a moment ago. Is there any way you can send it out to the whole group? Because I got all the notes, but I didn't, I missed 8 and 9 or whatever, but I was on the whole call, but just didn't get the last 2 points. So just want to see if you can do that.
I'll send it to everybody. I have it right here.
Okay, and then I think it's on. I have another. Go on, sorry.
You go on. Go on.
Okay, I have another question. You're saying for Medicare with the form to fill out, I guess that's the scope of appointment. Do we have a form that we fill out when we're sitting down? I guess my question is, once we get done and we've already closed the person, we're done build a report with them, we're getting ready to leave. You said it's a form they need to fill out for the scope of appointment. I mean, I guess it's the scope of appointment. What is the form, and should we get it filled out right there if we're going to come back and talk to them about Medicare?
Yes, right now my mind is blank exactly what the form is called, but it is a phone number, it's a paper that allows you to call them back. The scope of appointment is when you're actually going to go to the house, when you have made an appointment, or you're going to go back. Okay, it gives you permission to speak with a client. This here's an actual separate form that you put their name on it and they sign it, which allows you to call them. They're giving you permission to call, because we cannot call for Medicare. Okay, we cannot door knock for Medicare. We cannot do any of that stuff for Medicare. And the client has got to call you. You're not supposed to call them. Yet with this form here, I'll send to you and send to everybody, that allows you to be able to give them a call because they've given you a written permission.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Make it a great day. Okay, guys, anybody else have any questions? If they do, do me a *2. Jay will open you up. Okay. We'll end it. I appreciate it. Everybody have a great week. Make it a great day. If you got any questions, give your manager a call. Give me a call. We're here to help you out. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.